Welcome to Village in Motion. I'm Clint Lambert. I'm pleased to be the host today on December 14th. And folks, it is getting close to the holidays here. In fact, today is Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Holidays. For all of those out there that are celebrating one way or the other, I hope you have a great day. But first, we're going to be talking to an officer from the Fairfax County Police Department. And that officer is Alice Eggers, and she is the crime prevention officer, and she's going to share some holiday tips with us and some safety tips that we most desperately need to know.
Hi.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me
Very glad that you're here.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm sure you're having a busy day also.
Always, always.
There's a lot of crime going on this time of year, right?
There is. We get a lot of different types of crime this type of year. One of the things that we want to stress to people is that while you're out shopping for the holidays, make sure that if you're going shopping, if a lot of people carry every credit card that they have,
right.
It's probably best to, if you know you're going to shop at a specific store, just to take your emergency one and the one for the specific store, because if your purse is taken, you lose it, you only have to worry about those two credit cards to call in. Also, we advise people that when you're shopping, it's always a good idea that if you can, you go back to the car to place all your packages in the vehicle, and that you cover them up. Put them in the trunk. If you have items that are of value, don't leave them out in open view. Lock the car, things like that. If you know you're going to be staying late, park under a well-lit light,
yes.
Things like that. Also realize that this is the time of year where people feel very charitable. So I try to remind people that, again, the phone calls, the emails, if it's not a charity that you have chosen, I would advise not to make that knee-jerk reaction and actually give. What I advise people is pick 2 or 3 charities that you feel very passionately about, do the research on them, and at that point, once you've done the research and you find out how much of your money is actually going to go to that charity, then you can give to them, and you give to them with a giving heart. You know that the money's going to go where it needs to go, and then you don't feel that pressure when someone calls or you get that email, or even standing in line. They even do it at different grocery stores. Would you like to give? No, I already have my charities that I give to. I feel very confident that my money's going where I want it to go.
Isn't there a place online that you can go and check out charities?
There is you can actually Google, percentages of charities, the monies that go to them, and you can do a general search. And there is, and I can't remember the name of the website, but I have looked it up myself to find out what percentage of your funds actually go to the real people that you want it to go to.
And it's not just administrative costs.
Correct.
Going to somebody that's the director of a program.
Correct.
Kind of situation. You mentioned the fact with cars and being very conscious of what you have in your car. Should we take a blanket if we have an SUV and cover things with it?
Sure. Or if you have a cargo, slide or a net that, can cover those packages, absolutely. That is a very good idea. And we do advise, again, out of sight, out of mind. So if someone's kind of walking through the parking lot, because a lot of times these crimes are crimes of opportunity. They're not something that someone sets out typically for the day to go, hey, I'm going to break in cars. It just so happens that a lot of times they'll go down into a parking lot or down the street and they'll pull door handles. If the door's open, they go in, they look at, loose change, sunglasses, purses, laptop computers, iPhones, iPads. And then obviously now this time of year we have gifts. We don't want people to see what they're getting for Christmas or for Kwanzaa or for the holidays or for Hanukkah, things like that. So I try to advise people that anything that's out of sight is out of mind.
With that, you mentioned the fact of carrying only 2 credit cards with you when you go out to shop, or even just your identification and 1 credit card. What happens if someone does lift your purse or your billfold? What truly happens? What's the horrible experience that you go through in regards to that?
Well, typically when you talk about financial crimes, what a lot of people don't understand is the person is not the victim of the crime, technically. It's the credit card company. So a lot of times the credit card company will outreach to you, especially this time of year. They'll make a phone call and they'll ask you some information like, did you purchase something in Russia? Because a lot of times what they're doing is they're taking the number and then they're making a fake card someplace else and then they're running the card. And then until the credit card company figures it out. They'll ask you to sign an affidavit that you did not not make those purchases. And it is very stressful, and it can be painful, and we have enough
Right.
stress this time of year already. So I think it's very important that if you get a phone call from your credit card company, I always advise this. What is your operator number? What is your full name? I'm going to look on my actual bill from my credit card company,
Right.
and I'm going to call you back. That
Excellent.
way you're not giving out pertinent information based on a
Right.
call to you.
Very good point. Very good point. With all of that, with men, is there a way to protect our wallets?
Actually, there is. What I advise is typically men like to keep their billfolds or their wallets in their back pocket.
Right.
You don't have a lot of nerve endings there. And I advise men to move the wallet from the back to the front, because if someone actually reaches down into your pocket in the front, you
Exactly.
should notice that.
Exactly.
For ladies, I advise that typically we like to wear the purse over our shoulder, which is completely fine. I don't like when people wrap it around their neck, because if someone tries to grab it, you're going to the ground.
Yes.
But I do think that if you're carrying your purse, make sure it's zipped and have it pulled more to the front of you.
And have your arm over it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, so it's like having a child or something under your
Absolutely.
arm, literally,
Absolutely.
in regards to it. With that, I have noticed many ladies will go shopping in a grocery store especially, and they leave their purse unzipped because of their item list that they have.
Yes.
What's the recommendation?
I would advise not putting your purse actually in the cart, because then we get distracted, we walk away, we look at something, and
Right.
next thing you know, 5 minutes have gone by and we've left our purse that's open
Right.
and not thought about that. To be honest, is to lighten the load. My daughter's 12, but over the years, the purse gets bigger and bigger.
Right.
I could probably suture a wound with all the things that I have in my purse, and I've learned to lighten the load. And so if you know you're going in, maybe carry that wallet, not take the whole person, carry the wallet and the list, have the wallet in your coat pocket zipped up, or have it, close to you in some way, or an inner pocket if you have one, something like that. But just carry minimal amount of things so that you have your hands free to do the things that you need to do, and that you're not worried about leaving or dropping something somewhere.
So what you're really saying is cut down on what you're carrying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that those things that you are carrying, that you do purchase, make sure that you're covering them up. dealing with
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
Other issues that we need to know about this time of year, there are break-ins, right?
There-
That happen. Hopefully we haven't had any here.
No, as far as I know, I didn't see any statistical data that said you were having it here, because you guys are a closed community.
Right.
You do have your own security. But I do advise that if you're going to see family in the area, things like that, again, try to park in the driveway, try to keep everything locked up. If you have packages, again, keep all that covered. And again, the biggest thing is to lock everything up. The larcenies that we're seeing where people are stealing the tires and the rims or the doors or whatever it may be, those are things that you really don't have a lot of control over,
Okay.
other than the fact that you hope that you're in a neighborhood that has a good neighborhood watch.
Right.
But the last thing I would like to stress is this is the time of year that we get a lot of panhandling. And I want to stress to people that here in Fairfax County, we just put something up on the website on panhandling. Please, 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 make the good choice. Realize that once you give your money to that particular panhandler, you don't know their background. Understand that once the money is gone out of your hands, you have no control over what they do with it. A lot of times there's a lot of fraud involved, as far as there are websites that people can go to that are panhandling. They can find out what intersections they can get the most money, things like that. Pick your charities, pick your house of worship, give to them, knowing in good faith that the money's going where it needs to, not to somebody that you cannot control the money once it's gone.
You mentioned panhandling, and it's really a major event
Yes, sir.
this time of year. Tell us exactly what is panhandling? What is all is involved with panhandling?
Panhandling is where you see male or female. They're usually in the median strip at a major intersection. They have a sign that says, "I'm homeless, I'm a wounded veteran, I have 5 kids, I need help, I need money." And I typically have told people that I've had numerous stories where people said, "Hey, I'll go buy you some food." Nope, don't want it. And they'll be out on the median strip, and actually by Virginia code, they can be on the median,
Okay.
but they cannot be on the median if there's sidewalks available.
Oh, interesting.
But there is nothing that we can do as far as it's considered freedom of speech if they're holding a sign.
Okay.
I will tell you, they're typically not wounded veterans. They are not homeless typically. They don't have 5 kids. And again, it's one of those things that you don't have control over the money.
Right.
You just can't do the research. And I feel the heart of people, and I so appreciate that and the compassion. But make sure that you do the charity within boundaries.
With that, you had mentioned off camera before we came on about the fact that there's actually a list out there, ways for panhandlers to know where to go.
Absolutely.
And the amount of money they're making.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's blog sites. Fairfax County is what they consider very green, which means that Fairfax County is very affluent. We have money. And so there's websites devoted solely to people that want to panhandle. They'll tell you what intersection is a good intersection to panhandle at, and that you can make $30, $40, $50, $60 an hour completely tax-free. And, you know, again, it's our kind hearts. You know, I truly believe that here in the United States, people are very compassionate, they're very generous, they have good hearts, and they're trying to do the right thing. But people take advantage of that, and especially this time of year where people are feeling very giving.
Yes.
Again, I stress so much so that you don't know the background. We've stopped people that have been, you know, prior homicides, you know, that have been panhandling, people that have been sexual offenders. You know, you don't know who this person is. Doesn't mean they can't change their life around, but the reality is charity with boundaries.
Also, the fact of driving and not picking somebody up, right?
Absolutely. We do not recommend that at all. You know, again, here in Fairfax County, there's so many services available. If someone is in need, they need help, you can call the non-emergency number. We as officers, we carry pamphlets, flyers. We have a section of Fairfax County that is to prevent and end homelessness. So there's many services. We have mental health services. We have services for the homeless. We have charities that we actually partner with different houses of worship to help families in need. So those are there. Realize that they're there. And again, just give where you know where the money's going to go, and it's going to go to the best use.
So if we have a question about theft or a question about safety, we can give you a call, give the police department a call?
Absolutely. I'm out of the Franconia District Station. My email is Alice, ALICE, .eggers, EGGERS, at fairfaxcounty.gov. I also have a cell. It's 571-318-1735. You can call me personally. I am in a lot of meetings, so if something happens, you might have to leave me a message. Or if you're into texting, you can text me too. But email, text, whatever it may be, I'm always available to try to help and answer questions.
Great. Alice, thank you so very, very much. And we hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you, sir, and happy holidays to you.